Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
2 men on scooters are attacked, landing one of them in the ICU. And tonight, one of the victims is calling it a hate crime.
It's a massive mail fraud investigation affecting almost 1,000 people all over Metro Detroit. And tonight, Help Me Hank with an important warning from the police.
Also, the light at the end of the tunnel growing larger with the announcement of an early rollback of Michigan's COVID restrictions. Tonight, we've got reaction from businesses that have been hit hard by the capacity limits that are soon going to be lifted. Glad you're with us tonight at 6. A day ago, Governor Whitmer kind of dropped the big hint, and today she dropped a news release saying Michigan need not wait until July 1st to end its remaining restrictions.
The new date? July 22nd, that's next Tuesday. The list of restrictions that will end includes mask mandates and restaurant and indoor capacity limits. Also, mandatory COVID testing in many places will end.
Only a few emergency orders surrounding vulnerable populations in corrections facilities, long-term care, and agriculture are going to remain in place. Business editor Rob Maloney with reaction from some of the hardest hit places, restaurants and gyms. Rod?
Yeah, you know, Devin, thousands of restaurants in Michigan have closed. Hundreds of gyms have closed in the state of Michigan. And so there is that wreckage that is to be dealt with. And the businesses that are staying open, that did stay open, are hanging on by a thread. Here at Zingerman's, a roadhouse here in Ann Arbor, they're happy to see these come, but they're also telling us, hey, 100% is not going to happen Tuesday. Zingerman's Roadhouse Kitchen's always a busy place, but it's only serving about 45% of its pre-COVID customers right now.
I mean, I don't think anybody enjoys wearing a mask.
Owner Ari Weinsweg is glad that the emergency orders are ending, but is in no hurry to get back to his pre-COVID seating. He's at 100 right now, and it would mean a jump to 225 on Tuesday.
People got to order the food. You got to prep the food. You got to make sure you got the people in house ready to go and ready to work, and it's a big switch.
Ari's customers, like Rob Harper of Detroit, is happy to put his spatula away.
I'm grateful because as a patron, it gives me the opportunity to get back out and help support the local businesses. My cooking's not that great.
Many of us have put on that COVID 15 to 25 pounds as gyms haven't been available. Alyssa Tushman lost one of her 3 gyms to bankruptcy. And as the co-chair of the Michigan Fitness Club Association, she says don't expect things to ramp up immediately there either.
Ramping up gym memberships is a time-consuming process. So it's going to take time, knowing that we've lost 60% approximately industry-wide of our members.
Which begs the question, will Michigan get back to normal quickly?
I don't know that it'll ever get back to normal, but I think that we'll be coming to a new normal probably by the end of the summer.
So whatever becomes the new normal and whenever that happens, we now know that it's not going to be a light switch that you flip, decidedly a dimmer. Back to you.
Rod, throughout this, you have done a number of stories on how tough this has been, even recently, for businesses, though, to hire people.
Right, and that's going to be another reason why it's going to take a while. A lot of businesses would like to ramp up quickly, put the tables back in the restaurants,
right.
But you have to have people to staff them. You have to have people who can wash the dishes. And what we're also hearing from most of the restaurants we talk to is that the people in their restaurants are all but exhausted, running like crazy, just dealing with what it is that they have right now.
Exactly right. So we'll continue to watch this as it may be more of a gradual rollout for others, for some, rather than something that suddenly happens on Tuesday. Kim?
Now to a massive mail fraud investigation involving mail stolen from nearly 1,000 people and counting. Some of the area's most affluent zip codes at that. The wide-reaching investigation is ongoing, and police have an important warning for you. Our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, is live. Hank, many of these victims ended up having their identities stolen too.
Kimberly, they do, and it ends up costing them thousands of dollars. You know, we hear so much about these crimes, and you think high-tech crimes, computers. No, this one was very basic. These guys were hitting different neighborhoods all across Metro Detroit, simply lifting your mail and then using that information to steal your identity. These thieves were targeting affluent areas all over Metro Detroit, and the investigation actually started a few years ago when police received a tip call. Someone concerned about what they'd seen in their neighborhood.
A neighbor who was just being vigilant, being a good neighbor, who saw somebody take mail out of somebody's, one of their neighbor's mailboxes.
Simple as that.
As simple as that. That's how this all started.
This is a previous mugshot of one of the men charged as the investigation got underway. And here's what we know about this massive mail fraud investigation. More than 800 victims so far. These thieves targeting areas like Bloomfield Hills, Franklin, Bloomfield Township, Southfield, Troy, and Farmington Hills. The fraud began back in 2018. And 2 men have been charged so far, Malik Frazier, who you saw in that previous mugshot, and Ronald Reese. But police expect more charges are coming as this investigation moves forward.
We really realize that this is a nationwide problem at a biblical proportion.
The thieves were simply stealing mail out of mailboxes and then stealing your identity. And as you can imagine, for the victims, it's been devastating.
You really don't know how vulnerable you really are, because you don't know how much information they have taken, and they don't know what they're going to do with it.
And the pandemic played a role in all of this too, because there were people who would go to their mailbox day after day and not see any mail, thinking that it was because there was a slowdown related to COVID-19, when in fact investigators believe it may have just been these guys stealing their mail repeatedly. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
Okay, thanks for the information, Hank. Devin.
Beaumont and Spectrum Health have entered, there we are, we took the scenic route. Beaumont and Spectrum Health have centered talks to form one of the largest state health systems in Michigan. They have signed a letter of intent to explore a merger that would create a new health system. It would temporarily be called BHSH System, with 22 hospitals. Again, that's not the what we expect would be the long-term name. 305 outpatient locations, 64,000 employees. BHSH System would operate dual headquarters in Grand Rapids and Southfield. So Beaumont and Spectrum hope to have this process of creating the system. Their hope is that they can be completed in the fall. Congressman Andy Levin is expressing cautious optimism thus far, saying in a statement, "I will evaluate this proposed merger with great care. I'm committed to preventing spikes in healthcare costs and worse patient outcomes, as evidence indicates can happen following mergers. I will not accept inferior care for my constituents in the name of consolidation or competition or growth of revenue."
Well, we've been asking and needing the rain. It looks like we might get some early tomorrow.
It's been dry again. Let's get over to Ben for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, guys, and let's hope we can get the rain without the rough stuff, but unfortunately, we're going to have to watch out for the latter. The first of our storm recipe is already here. The warmer temperatures, mid-80s this afternoon, but the humidity has not come back yet. That's going to start rolling in here tomorrow, and that's when the severe risk ramps up. South zone, at least part of it, you're under a slight risk tomorrow. The rest of us under a marginal risk for severe weather, although by far the more intense thunderstorms are going to stay in parts of central Indiana and Ohio. We'll be on the northern cusp of that severe risk tomorrow. So breaking it down, we've got 2 rounds. First in the morning, we get a little bit of an early afternoon break, and then we see the stronger of the 2 rounds in the afternoon. We'll talk timing and just exactly what we're expecting as far as that severe threat goes in just a few minutes. Don't forget the local forecasters app is where you can track that rain coming in, both rounds tomorrow and the nice weekend beyond. Search for it in your app store by searching WDIV. Kim?
Okay, Ben. Now to an incident in Harrison Township that's left one man hospitalized in what his partner is calling a hate crime. The couple were riding scooters when someone pulled up and assaulted them. One of the victims spoke with our Sean Lay. Sean, he says the attacker was using anti-LGBTQ slurs.
And that's why Andrew, the partner in this case, is calling this a hate crime. Kimberly, some good news tonight that his partner, Michael Hall, who's in McLaren Hospital, he was in the ICU. He was unconscious in critical condition with a skull fracture just a couple of days ago. We're told he is alert right now, watching right now, and is doing much better. But as you mentioned, his partner Andrew says this clearly to him was a hate crime.
And at this point, the guy's over Mike, just like on him, like, I'll kill you, and I'm pushing him back.
Anthony Hamilton is traumatized after a vicious assault that landed his partner, Michael Hall, in the ICU at McLaren Hospital. It unfolded Tuesday night at the shopping center at Crocker and Metro Parkway. Hamilton says he and Hall were riding scooters home from Hall's work. A car pulled up, and the driver, he says, was in a rage, yelling at the two. And Hamilton says the man got out and took a big swing right at Hall.
He socks Mike in the face, literally punches him, and Mike falls straight forward into this blacktop and doesn't move.
That night, Michael Hall was in critical condition, now improving from a brain bleed, skull fracture, broken nose, fractured eye socket, and memory loss.
I remember pointing down, and I remember looking at him going, "Are you okay? Like, why are you doing this? Why? Dude, do you know what you did? Like, this guy could be hurt." And I'm shouting to his friend, I'm like, "Dude, dial 911, dial 911.
Hamilton says the man screamed anti-LGBTQ slurs at them. Two sheriff's detectives are investigating that aspect. Hamilton says he will speak to investigators again to stress that he says slurs were used before the attack. An attack the attacker's friend, who was in the attacker's car, couldn't even stop.
I'm shocked, I'm upset, I'm scared. I get that maybe it's his friend, maybe it's his family, but if that's the case, at the very least, this guy needs to get help.
That suspect still out there right now. A GoFundMe has been set up for Michael Hall for mounting medical costs there in the hospital, recovery costs, and to help him see his family once he is released from the hospital. The sheriff tells me there's no camera in that area where it happened, no video, just a very vague description of a white sedan and a white suspect about 5'11". The sheriff's saying tonight, if you saw this or know anything about it, the sheriff's office needs to hear from you. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
An Ann Arbor man is facing several charges accused of assaulting a woman for being transgender. Prosecutors say 59-year-old James Greggs cut the woman with a box cutter, hit her in the face, and strangled her. This was last Tuesday, June 8th. He was arraigned earlier this week on charges of criminal sexual conduct, felonious assault, and ethnic intimidation, which is the name of Michigan's hate crimes law. Allen Park police, meanwhile, want to talk to this person who, as you can see, ran up to a home, stole a pride flag, and then ran back to a waiting car, which then speeds away. Location of the home has not been provided to us. However, if you recognize the thief, Allen Park police would like you to call.
Another survivor of Dr. Robert Anderson shares his story and demands action from the University of Michigan during a board meeting of regents. John Clubb was not a Michigan student. He says he was abused by Anderson in the 1980s when he had to undergo medical exams while working at Willow Run Airport.
You've punished the abused for speaking their truths and continue to dehumanize the students in their daily life. Each day that you refuse to hold your employees accountable for damage caused while representing the University of Michigan as teachers, coaches, and all other staff members. If this university's board believes in its creed, it's well past the time to finally do the right thing for all victims of a monster.
Survivors have called on the board to let the Attorney General's office do a full investigation of Anderson's abuse and why it was not stopped. The university says a law firm report released in May had access to all available information and that it is in private mediation with victims over financial settlements.
New at 6.
Rich and Carol are celebrating their 43rd wedding anniversary tomorrow. They're also marking another milestone. Their 100-year Coney Island is closing.
Very bittersweet. My wife wants to retire. I don't want to kind of retire just yet.
We'll take you through a remarkable walk down memory lane at Red Hot's.